Hey there and welcome back to Sims Sunday. My name is Pete and as always in this series we try to complete The Sims 3. And we are actually very close to reaching that goal. After completing lifetime wish number 31 in the last episode, only one more lifetime wish is left, and that would be to reach level 10 of the evil branch in the criminal career. Now Pauline still has a few days off, so that will have to wait a bit, but there are a few more things that I have on my completionist checklist that we can do in the meantime. And one such thing is to bring back a ghost. Now, apart from occasionally hovering around the property, ghosts have not really played a large role in this playthrough. Today that is going to change because we are going to use Pauline's Oh My Ghost opportunity to bring back the ghost of Pete. Now, in order to do that, we need to drag Pete's urn into Pauline's inventory and then send Pauline off to the science facility. Here we can then select Restore the Ghost of Pete Complete, and then, free of charge for the first time, our family's founder will be brought back as a playable ghost. Right, so here he is, Pete Complete is back in action, and apart from being a ghost, we now have full control over him. And I would say let's get to work on his fun bar first. Resurrection from the dead apparently was not the most entertaining procedure. By the way, if we wanted to, we could always send Pete back to the realm of the dead for good by using the gravestone in his inventory, but we are far away from doing that because I have some plans for him. As a matter of fact, the most important thing we are going to accomplish with Pete today is to have a ghost baby. For that, we need to find ourselves a female young adult or adult, as having a baby with an elder woman does not work in this game. And it took me quite a while to find someone suitable who did not already have a partner, but in the end I was successful and found Alexandria Elrod in the gym. Now, in order to increase Pete's chances with her, let's also quickly alter his character a bit. Using the Midlife Crisis Lifetime reward, we can remove his traits Handy, Technophobe and Workaholic, and instead grab ourselves Charismatic, Flirty, and why not Great Kisser as well. This should hopefully speed up the process a bit, and let's see how long it takes Pete to successfully woo Alexandria. Alright, didn't take us that long. After roughly 3 hours, Pete and Alexandria are already kissing. So let's escalate things a bit further and ask her to go steady. And feel free to discuss in the comments to what extent this is actually cheating. After all, the moment he died, Pete was a married man. Still, the game officially lists him as having no partner, so maybe this could be considered fair game. And if it cannot, well, as a completionist, sometimes you have to make some sacrifices. Right, up next I think it's time to get Alexandria to move in with us, as that will definitely make mood management a lot easier while she's pregnant. In order to achieve that, we now need to ease up on the flirting and get back on friendly terms, and that will eventually open up the option to ask her to move in. Alright, Alexandria is moving in with us, and she also brings 5,000 simoleons into the household, and that means we can now send both her and Pete back home and get to work on making a baby. And it looks like that has worked, so all we have to do now is wait. In the meantime, we can jump over to Patrick, who has once again spent the majority of his day in the garden and has made it over to the grocery store now to sell all the fruits and vegetables in his inventory. That earns us a nice profit of 20,000 simoleons, and selling the money tree harvests also gives another additional 20,000. And for today, that is really all we can do. We quite literally planted the seeds for a ghost baby, so Pete and Alexandria will get some sleep now. In the meantime, Patrick is still needed to make us money and cook ambrosia down the line, but for today he can also get some rest, while Pauline quickly finishes her third or maybe even fourth painting for today, and then also goes to bed. Now the weekend has begun, and on Monday we can finally send her back off to work. The next morning then begins with Alexandria showing the first visible signs of pregnancy, but luckily for her, pregnancy in The Sims 3 doesn't take too long. It is then only a matter of time before she has to throw up again, and then spends the rest of a rather uneventful morning in front of the TV with Pete. Pauline and Patrick meanwhile start working on Patrick's portrait, not necessarily because I want him to die anytime soon, but simply to already have that out of the way. At around 8 PM then the portrait is finished, and it's a masterpiece no less, so let's put it in the family inventory for now until we need it. Meanwhile, Pete and Alexandria have spent pretty much the entire day in front of the TV, and they will now go to bed early. I have a feeling that tomorrow might be a big day for them. Patrick then follows suit shortly after, only with Pauline we are already trying to get her back in rhythm for her nightly work shifts. So she will stay up late today and go to bed in the early morning hours, that way she shouldn't get too tired during her shift on Monday. Then at around 3 PM she just can't go any longer, and so while Pete is already up and taking a shower, and while Patrick and Alexandria both grab some breakfast, Pauline can finally get some sleep. Pete and his pregnant girlfriend will then once again spend the majority of the day in front of the TV, simply because with us being so close to completion I don't really have anything else for them to do. So we rejoin the family and it's early afternoon already. Pauline is already busy painting, Pete and Alexandria are still both watching TV, and Patrick has just fed the fish and can now once again sell the money tree harvests for a profit of roughly 16,000 simoleons. Afterwards I decided he might as well join Pete and Alexandria. After all, his fun bar could use a slight raise. And that is also pretty much all that happened today. So yeah, very uneventful to say the least. And so at 9 PM we can simply send Pete, Alexandria and Patrick off to bed. No ghost baby birth just yet, but I'm sure we'll see that happen soon. At 5 AM then it's also finally Pauline's turn. In roughly 16 hours another work shift starts for her, and so very soon we will hopefully be able to get her much closer to completion of that last remaining lifetime wish. The next morning then passes by pretty uneventful. At the top you can see Patrick, who's already busy in the garden, and no surprises with Pete and Alexandria either, both of them are once again watching TV. Pauline is also awake again, she just had breakfast and has started to paint again. And then in the afternoon the moment has finally arrived. It seems like the baby is coming, so let's get Alexandria to the hospital. And here we are, Alexandria just gave birth to a baby girl. Now interestingly enough, we don't know yet whether or not it's a ghost. With only one parent being a ghost, there is a 50-50 chance. Still, we have another addition to the complete family household, her name, Piper Complete. And as usual, we are able to select 2 traits for her, and if she is in fact a ghost, then I think Brave might suit her. After all, I would imagine a ghost to be on the slightly more confident side of the spectrum. But we will also give Piper the Loner trait, because I think being a ghost might have some advantages, but being super popular is probably not one of them. Okay, and this one I did not expect, we're having twins here. So Piper also gets a baby brother, who we will name Powell. For Powell we will select the exact same traits. After all, I have no idea who the ghost actually is. And would you look at that, for no particular reason really, we're having triplets. And we can also already see on the left that Piper is in fact a ghost, so let's give her not only a brother but also a sister, and her name will be Pamela. And once again, because we have no idea whether or not Pamela is actually going to be a ghost, we will select the same 2 traits again, and now we're ready to send the exhausted parents back home. And it seems like I was mistaken earlier, Powell is in fact the one that is a ghost baby, but in the end the only thing that really matters is that we got one, so we can now mark that one as completed as well. Now while the parents are making their way back home, we can also quickly collect our weekly investment money, in total once again roughly 200,000 simoleons. At home then, a first look at Powell, who does not actually have the last name complete yet, so I will hopefully remember to change that soon. Now I quickly removed the beds and re-added the cribs in the children's rooms, so we can now put all 3 of our newborn babies inside. And for the remainder of this episode we also won't focus too much on them. Instead, let's jump over to Pauline. Her work shift is set to begin in a good hour, and she is pretty much guaranteed a promotion today. Therefore, she will improve the relationship with her boss today, as there is one more promotion to be completed after this one, and I think a good relationship with her boss sure can't hurt. Back at home and a bit over 2.5 hours later, everyone is heading off to bed, the babies are taken care of for today, and there are new plans on the horizon for tomorrow. And so we wrap this episode up with the end of Pauline's work shift, and no surprises here, of course she gets promoted. That means only one more promotion is left until Pauline has finally completed the evil branch of the criminal career, and we will take care of that promotion in the next episode. For today I can say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!